I have a few questions for my colleagues. What if our foreign policy of the past century is deeply flawed and has not served our national security interests? What if we wake up one day and realize that the terrorist threat is a predictable consequence of our mental
fear activity? That was weird. Can you guys hear me? They totally blocked me. I was supposed to be on live like an hour ago, so they've been blocking me out for an hour. If you guys are in the chat room, can you hear me? Can you just click yes or something? So like I know that you are able to hear me. Hello. This freaking sucks. See. Can you hear me, guys? Can you guys hear me? Hello. Alright, well, first they don't want to freaking... They blocked me out for an hour. You know what? That's fine. It's furthermore proving that, that... It's freaking weird. Can you guys hear me? They freaking blocked me for an hour. And that's bullshit. Because I didn't do shit wrong. So... Can you hear me? Listen, if you guys can hear me or not, you know what? All they're doing is, you know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna record it and like fucking post it up myself. I don't need all this shit. All they're doing by blocking me out is furthermore proving to everybody that I apparently have something to say. Fuck. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Type yes. And if you can, just call into my show. Just try to call in and see if it works. 818-688-5660. Call that number. They freaking blocked me out for an hour, having all this weird stuff come up. Like, really? Well, even when I set up the show, I couldn't even set up the freaking show because it kept saying that I was going to be airing like on some other day at like 1 p.m. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And okay, great. So you guys can finally freaking hear me. Well, they messed up my broadcast anyway. So those of you who have been tuning in, those of you who have been tuning in and waiting, okay, so first of all, I set it up for my show to go on at an hour ago, all right? And for the past hour, I have been blocked out, and because the subject I was going to talk about today was freaking something very not something anybody else would dare touch or talk about, but I don't care. And apparently, they blocked me out. What the fuck? Well, in that case, like I said, the more you're going to fuck with me, the more I'm going to fuck with you back. All right? I wasn't even going to go there that far, you know? I was not even going to disclose everything, you know? But since you're going to fuck with me, and I'm live right now. Everybody freaking download this afterwards. I'm going to make another broadcast and whatever. And I'm going to disclose the whole thing. I'm going to get straight to the freaking point. All right. So the politicians are clone bots, okay? I told you guys this a while ago when I said I travel, blah, blah, blah. I come back to 3D Earth, and I say, it's so weird. I see, like, all these robots and zombies, yada, yada. Boom. I get disclosure information. I was correct. Machine politician exposed. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let me just skim through here since they fuck with my program. I will continue in a better program on my own. The clone president. All right. It's been featured pointedly in top newspapers, but the people don't understand. George W. Bush is no human. He is not the son of his alleged parents. He is a clone president. The clone president. The sizzling hot subject of cloning has not yet reached the public, but it is the biggest subject of all. The headline of this article places the first letter of the word, quote, president, unquote, in parentheses, because legally speaking, the sitting president is merely a resident of the White House, see legal analyst of Supreme Court corruption swindle, blah, blah, blah. The word clone is intended and is to not be confused with the word clown, even though in the given context the two words may come close. The subtitle, Democracy in Action, yes. The subtitle alone is ironic because the report gives us barely anything else left. Well, anyways, let me get straight to the freaking point, okay? George W. Bush died in 1987 and was carried on through secret laboratories, Area 51, etc., as a zombie henceforth. He is not the only one. They walk among us and look like we do, but they are geared to sorrow and not happiness. Their souls are like wild animals. Their survival is driven by fierce cruelty untamed. They are fugitives of paradise. They are dwellers of the jungle. Their law is the law of the jungle, to eat or be eaten. America has no president. It has a series of look-alike cloned bonobo chimpanzees who are 100% remote controlled through the magnetic waves. The alleged president is sophisticated theme park diorama, a walking and talking 9/11. Its controlling force is not democracy, but jungle law and demonic possession. This prehistory in British royalty, Greg Hallett, and in personality development of the young George W. Bush, Brownsville, Texas, children of fold satanic ritual slaughter, Bush at the time was still human. Isn't that sad? I'm going to freaking post up photos. Okay, there's a photo. George W. Bush as a bonobo, and him as a crossover clone, and him as a bonobo chimp. Part 1, the evidence. I've been hearing and reading such reports for years from serious and well-informed people, including, without limitation, more than 3 top mainstream journalists or former journalists. Let's look at the evidence on this proposition. First, intuition, face reading. As a trial attorney with psychological interests, one of the first intuitions is to get a look behind the curtain through face reading. This is what they do, you know, in the FBI and stuff, like whatever. Here's a compilation of the Internet of alleged Bush monkey faces, a compilation that has distributed under the guise of humor. Okay, guys. I'm just gonna, since they fuck with my program, I am going to record it on my own and do it on my own, and let everybody know, all right? Because they're trying to fuck with me because they know they're robots. Here, check this out. I don't know if you can hear this. I told you guys on another episode that when I come back to the 3D Earth, I said everybody looks like a robot, right? Go back to my last episode. And I told my friend, I was like, why are you watching the TV? I said, look at them, they're robots. Anyways, check this out. These people on the robots. Here, check this out. Listen to how slow he talks, like a robot. If I could show you his face, they're all robots.
Legislature, the adult guests. These are big changes. They represent the most significant reform of our healthcare system since the passage of Medicare. They will save money.
More robots on television while they air.
3 artificial persons, androids. On camera, primetime TV, the United States of America. The year is 2008, early 2009. 3 particular androids for my medical investigation with a science fiction bent. Yes, I did use the term android because, as we will discover, they are artificially created persons pretending to be real humans. What's the crime? These 3 people were involved in the hijacking of a nation, the most powerful nation in the world. Though the crime is important, this is a medical investigation. If I can prove that these 3 people are androids, I will have proven that the world you think you knew is not the real world. Further, if these 3 people are androids, as I in fact stated in my short documentary, Androids Among Us, then that means that there is a mysterious culture hidden among us, a culture that is 1,000+ years more advanced than us. It is without a doubt that they appear to be real persons, what are referred to as human beings. And what I am going to do is to explain why these 3 persons, although seemingly perfectly normal, although appearing to be biological, are in fact persons artificial, androids of a very advanced quality. They are machines of a very impressive quality made from a quantum technology far ahead of any human science. And they are being employed to hijack society without society ever noticing a thing. The most perfect crime in human history. Our crime scene takes place in late 2008 on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C.
Whoa, what the fuck is that?
In late 2010, I released a 41-minute documentary, Androids Among Us. It was a frank discussion, even if shorter than expected, on my discovery on androids living among humanity. I had concluded from my observations that on those recordings, those 3 identified persons were synthetically made, and that it was a level of technology that was way over our head. I estimated at least 1,000 years ahead of modern science, and it was so advanced that it appeared to be biological. This was recorded from a television screen as it happened. There are no special effects. I did the recording myself and moved the camera around to isolate the oddities I was noticing. Listen to the context of the conference.
Way in a relatively short time to achieve something big and urgently necessary.
That's a robot talking, guys, on the news.
And our people. And when I say we, I mean the President, the House, the Senate, members of both political parties. Everybody gave something in these negotiations to achieve something bigger for our country and our people. I personally am confident that this Economic Recovery and Reinvestment Act will put a floor under
Did
this
you see
economy
its
of
face?
ours.
You can see that they're robots.
The turnaround.
Listen how he talks. They're programmed robots.
Or create millions of jobs. It will put billions of dollars into the pockets of hardworking American people so that they can go out and spend it. And
that one's not Bush. He's a representative of Bush.
It's a turning point. We're not going to get back.
Everybody in the White House, majority are robots.
But I think this represents the beginning of turning our economy around and leading to a better day full of opportunity for the American people. I was proud to work with this group, proud to be part of it. Without the three Republican colleagues, the Senate could not have come to the table. Without a great spirit of compromise from the White House,
I'll show you guys the video.
And the Senate, we would not be able to announce this agreement today. Okay.
Much of the discussion will involve 3 U.S. political figures, 2 males and 1 female. These are only my best examples, perhaps my most convincing evidence at the moment. I have no prejudice against the U.S. government. Neither do I have any judgment of any of these people I refer to. Their individual identity is not in question. I do not know them personally. It is what they are made of, the manufacturer, if you will, that is in question, because there are many androids in the world. Further, although these 3 examples are politicians, the android persons are not only politicians.
Exactly.
These political examples highlight some hidden aspects of this most interesting game, because political figures are influencing society, influencing leadership. There is investment aspect to this game, an agenda. And the key to that agenda are 3 persons. 3 persons who are working for the most powerful nation in the world. Let us focus on the artificial mechanics that is hiding underneath the biological shroud. This is going to be a kind of advanced scientific investigation, a medical science detective story. In my medical science investigation, I have enough evidence of these 3 people. It is not your usual evidence. I am going to stretch our understanding of life. I have to, because otherwise there is no other way to explain androids on modern-day television. Here is my key medical evidence. The blinking of a white-haired man. The catatonia of the large-eyed man. The blinking woman. This is a scientific investigation, and I'm going to play the medical investigator for things that are not supposed to exist. There is a lot of supporting evidence as well. I think that what happened was these people got sloppy, and I recorded it. Otherwise, it would be even more difficult to catch. The basis of my recordings contain that sloppy.
This is a radio show, so I said when it's done, I will upload it and provide the photos for you.
Crisis. America was believed on the verge of collapse. The U.S. president made a primetime speech to accept the bailout. There must have been a desperate attempt to change the course of history, and they got sloppy. And I happened to be paying attention.
Me too.
Later, I managed to crack the code.
Me too.
I had an epiphany, unlike ever before.
Me too.
As I have stated, this is also a crime scene. What's the crime? Androids are being used to change the course of a nation. Not just any nation, the most powerful nation in the world. They are essentially hijacking society. Instead of hijacking an aircraft and flying it into a World Trade Center, they are hijacking a government and driving it into a depression. A government that is carrying 300 million passengers. And they are using artificial people, androids, ladies and gentlemen, androids who look and act human. Androids that, until I pointed them out, looked human. The clues to how they remote control these androids will take us inside the brain. But before we get into our neurological view, let us first review some tactical methods the androids employ. There are 2 specific androids in this recording. One is standing on the left flank of the speaker. The other is standing on the...
All right, so since they fucked with my program, like I said, for anybody who's just now tuning in, I tried to log in like 2 hours ago when I was supposed to go live, and they blocked me from logging in, and I started getting these weird messages popping up. And, you know, because I was about to disclose this really, really explosive information, which is the fact that I told you guys about these spam bots. I told you how I travel to, you know, I'm into 5D, but then I come back to 3D. Go back and check for yourself. I said, when I come back here, it's very strange because I can see robots walking everywhere. My friend was watching the news, and I said, wow, look at that. They're robots. And then I said, do you guys just go back I'll post it all up later. We don't have time because they fuck with my program, but they're not going to fuck with it because I'll redo a proper broadcast, provide photos, provide everything so you understand that this is real. And this is why they don't want, they're banning me, but check it out. So, it's friggin' creepy. That's why when sometimes you see those news reporters, you think they're having like a seizure or something, and we're kind of like laughing because they fumble on the news when they're stuttering. That's actually a robot that's malfunctioning live on television. Okay? It's not only in the White House. I told you guys about the zombies and the demons walking